Okay, so let's say you have some like pictures, like I'll just use these as like examples. And let's say we want to merge all of them into one motherfucking picture. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this, go through here, go into my little like thing. I made like a little app, and I'll just like paste it in here. So we got our folder, and by the way, this is written in Java, and I'll just like compile it and then run it with a batch file. And then I'll just like specify the name of the folder. It's already in there and it knows where to search. So it's 512 by 128. And you can see that the images are all 64 uh, bit pixels wide and pixels high. But yeah, okay. And now we just make an output file, its name tiles, and then it already puts the PNG on the outside. So as you can see, it generated an image right here, and then it tiles them perfectly along the 64 pixel thing. So boom, it has all of them right there, right in the same image now. And here's all the images once again. Okay, so I'll just go over the code real quick. It's actually pretty damn simple. Java is really nice. I love it. Okay, so yeah. So first it starts off we're in this entry point. I did it all in Notepad++, so I'll get rid of that stuff. Okay, so I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay. So it just starts off where you make a scanner. You just it just asks you just to input something. You input the folder, and then it passes that folder string into here, and then it just like displays a width. Goes through everything, and then asks for another line for user input, and then you just like save the image with that. Okay. And yeah, so right here in Java, you make packages. It's all in the same folder. That's why it has package Sprite. You just go through. I import some libraries. This is just like this one is just for input output. This one's for array lists. This one's for buffered images, so you can load images and stuff. And this one's just so you could do different things with. I think to write to an image. That's what I do like when I save. Okay, so I think I could zoom out a little bit right here. Okay, so yeah, this is public class Sprite Sheet. Java uses classes, in case you don't know. And yeah, so I made like a little array list, just called pics and stuff, and it's a type buffered image, so it has a bunch of like buffered images. That's the whole point of this. And then I just have some int variables, integer variables. That's just width, height, grid width, and grid height. So the width and height is just the total width and height of the outputted image, and the grid width and grid height is all the like sub images. So they all need to be the same size. This is to make sure that it actually animates right once you're done. So if you didn't do, if all the images aren't the same size, some will be cut off, and that's how you know you need to make them the same size. Okay, and done with width. This is like something like a little error check, not an error checking thing, but just something to check once we're done with the first row, basically. And yeah, here's an output image. Okay, this is gonna be the like main image right here. Yeah, that we're gonna output. It's gonna be huge. Okay. So first off, we find the path that we're trying to find, so the directory, and then I'm just initializing some stuff, and then if that path exists, then we go through, we make a new array list, we uh, we find, we get all the files that's in that directory because the path does exist. I'm not error checking to check if there's any non-images in there. I didn't really care about that. This is all mostly for personal use. And yeah, I just want to show it off. And I get grid width right off the bat, get it from like the image, and I get height right here because you want to initialize it to height before you go into the like set everything up because you want to make sure that the height is like it already has a height for the image and for the first row. And right here you got the grid height equals the height, and then this is getting this. This is basically the same thing as this line, but I just wanted to. I didn't want to have to go through all the function calls again. Yeah. Okay, and then pretty much right here, yeah. And by the way, get image is like all that is basically you just like you make a new image. I set to null at first, and then like so that way if there's an error or something, or if it can't read, then it'll go through here, or it's like it'll also like print out an exception. And yeah, so I just use a little static function, and it just like finds it just gets the image and then puts it into that buffered image variable, and then returns it right here. So that's what get image does. And right here, I'm going through all the files in that folder, and I'm adding it to that array list. Yeah, that's pretty motherfucking sweet. And yeah, so I get it set up with height. So that's a little function I made. You just pass in like the current counter, and right here I'll just show you this. So basically this is just like getting the width and height all set up for the buffered image thing that we're gonna output. Okay, so basically every 8, I only want to like I kind of statically have it is like once it hits 8 pictures, then you go to the next row. And then also I also check if I is greater than 0 because that this will also be true if I is 0 too, because I mod 8 is equal to 0 if I is 0. And yeah, so that's just a little error checking. And as you can see, after we're done with that, after we've finished our first row, done with width will be true. And then we'll go here. And so like if done with width is false, which is it's initialized to, then it'll keep running this and we'll get the width. So once we're done with the first row, we have the entire width of the image. We don't want to do anything. And yeah, but we'll keep increasing the height if we've completed another row. So each time we complete a row, the height keeps growing and growing and growing because that's what it's only 8 for the width. So the width is just going to be static after a while. Okay, so right here, now we're all done with that. We got our image width and height set up. Now we actually need to make an image. So that's what this line does. It makes an empty image and it makes it type ARGB. So that's basically sets up to get ready for a PNG, basically. And usually you need to do this. You do this type of stuff with like graphics, but I'm not doing graphics in this. I just wanted to like make it. So here's a set of tiles. Here's the entire meat and potatoes of the entire thing. So this was the hardest part to figure out, even though it's only 3 lines of code. So right here, I'm getting the current x. So the current x is going to be like we're going to start off. So even if like I is equal to 0, I mod 8 equals 0, we're okay with that this time. We want to basically we're trying to find the leftmost part of the image and the topmost part of the image, and that's what this is doing. So basically, we're kind of shifting it as we go along. So once maybe I gets to like 20, I mod 8 would be equal to, so you just divide by 8, and then you 20 minus 16 is 4, so that would be a 4. So you times up grid width by 4. But yeah. And then for height, you just divide by 8, and you got everything you need pretty much. So these are all your coordinates that you need. You only need this because like when you divide by 8, so let's say you're on 20 again, you divide by 8 with an integer, then you're just going to get 20 divided by 8, so you get 2 basically. So grid height times 2, so that means you're on the third row, and then right here, and then you'll be on the third row, but this will always be kind of similar. And yeah, so right here we're going to use these 2 ints, and this is how we'll like set up the image on different parts, and we'll offset it each time. So we're going to get the output image, and we're going to set data. So set data, basically you're using a raster. So it's a raster class, and that's all the buffered images have the ability to get that. So that's why I'm going to get our array list. So get an element from the array list based on the integer that we passed in. And then I'll get data. And basically get data returns a raster. So we're setting the data, the output image, getting the raster of this image. So the raster, when we just say get data, we're just returning the entire image. So it's going through the entire image and giving it to the output image. But it's only going to set a little tiny piece of it. So it's getting the entire rectangle of that and putting that rectangle in the big image. So we'll fill in a small part of the mega image. And right here, create translate child. So this one's a little crazy to find. So basically, this one also returns a different type of raster. So it returns a writable raster, and which is still of type raster. This is some polymorphism right here. And polymorphism is when you're able to like pass in some like subclasses to like a parent class, and it still works. So you're still able to pass it in, and still you can have like a bunch of extra functionality like this. I would not have been able to do this if it wasn't for polymorphism. But yeah, so you got some create translated child. So this basically gives you like a new raster, but it offsets it. So like this is the offset right here, and it's based on current X and current Y. That's why we need to find those. So this will offset the image, and basically as you move along, it'll keep moving the images from the left to the right. And yeah, so the higher the X's, the more it'll be shifted to the right. The higher the Y's, the more it'll be shifted downwards on the image. And yeah, that's how we find it. So yeah, that's how you set up the tiles right there. And right here in the entry point, as you can see, it says save image for after we're done with that. So that's all done with the constructor. And we want to save the image now. And boom, let's go down to save image. And this is like a little separate from the constructor. I didn't want to save it right away if the player, or I mean, if the user did not want to do this. I'm too used to making games. I'm calling the user the player. Okay, but yeah, so you got the file output file. There's a new file, so I just pass in the file name plus the PNG. So that's why we're able to type in just whatever we want. So remember how we typed that in? So right here, we're able to just type in tiles.png tiles and then put the .png thing because I basically just added a string to another string. And right here, you got the image.io, so it's a static function. We're passing in the output image, so that's a buffered image we're going to use. And we're going to make it of type PNG. And then we're going to put the output file into there. So that's what this is right here. And then we'll like output this whole buffered image as a PNG into that file. And that's how this whole program works. So that's pretty much you're done with the program and then exit that. And then boom, you got this motherfucking image right here. It's freaking sweet. It's amazing how it just like put everything together. And Java made this really easy actually. Once I actually learned the documentation, the raster stuff I kind of learned from a graphics class. But yeah, that's not too bad. Basically, rasters just like have to do with interpolation. Basically, so it's interpolating all these motherfucking images right here. So all these images, it's interpolating all of them, and then like it's going through boom, 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 and then it just puts it into this image, and then that's how it like gets all those rectangles and it puts it in there. So I hope this helped, and I hope this is kind of just interesting in a way or something at least. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful motherfucking day.